Hi everyone, my name is Eva Delaney and I am a registered dietitian with UVA's Teen and Young Adult Health Clinic. You all submitted some wonderful questions about nutrition for teenagers and today we'll be reviewing those. So let's dive in. We got three pretty similar questions that we'll answer all together that have to do with what a healthy or an ideal diet would be for growing teenagers. So this is a question that I get rather often, and one whose answer unfortunately doesn't really get much representation in all of the media out there. When we think about the word healthy, it can mean so many things to different people in different situations. So I like to try to challenge that word a little bit because what's healthy for one individual might be unhealthy for another. For most teens, a balanced eating pattern is one that combines a variety of foods within each food group and gives the body grains, proteins, fruits, veggies, dairy, all the things. Each food group contains different types of nutrients and different types of vitamins and minerals. Therefore, eating enough of each group is really important. So generally, unless we have certain medical conditions that require us to be more mindful of the nutrients in the foods we're eating, like food allergies or chronic medical conditions, absolutely every food can fit into a varied and balanced eating pattern. For those of you who are very active with things like sports, it's also crucial to remember that those sports and those activities require adequate fuel from food to be your best and to perform your best. And the nutritional needs of a teenage athlete are even higher than we might expect. Our bodies are pretty cool and can usually do a good job of telling us how much fuel we need to eat to support all of the things we do, as long as we're able to listen to it. So the next question is, what's the difference between watching what you eat and dieting? So often these two terms can mean similar things. However, generally, watching what you eat relates to a person who maybe is more mindful that their body needs a variety of foods daily and at each meal or each snack, and this allows or prompts them to be aware that they're having balance between different foods at each time that they're eating. Dieting more describes a person who is manipulating their food intake and their food choices, specifically driven by weight concerns rather than overall positive health concerns. Both can be pretty dangerous for teens, dieting in particular. Some concerning behaviors related to dieting would include excluding specific foods or whole food groups, adopting really low energy diets or fad diets, skipping meals altogether, fasting or going long periods of time between eating, or using harmful methods to get rid of or burn energy. And this leads us to our next question. Why is it bad for teens to go on diets? So throughout the different phases of our lives, like childhood, adolescence, early adulthood, late adulthood, our body's nutritional demands change to meet the requirements of that stage of life. When we're teenagers, our nutritional needs are at the absolute highest than they are at any other time of our life because our bodies are working to grow taller, gain muscle, gain bone, gain organs, grow our brains. So our body's nutritional needs can be considered in two categories, one including our overall energy intake. We get energy from nutrients called carbohydrates, protein, and fat, all three of which are required for our body to thrive. And then our vitamin and mineral intake, like calcium, iron, zinc, vitamin D, vitamin A. These nutrients are found in different amounts throughout all of the foods that exist. Therefore, if we're engaging in any of the behaviors I just mentioned, like trying to restrict our food intake or entirely removing food groups or types of foods, we're also limiting and removing the nutrients from those foods, and that can be really detrimental to our body's overall health and development. So our next question is on a bit of a different track, but it's, why is artificial sugar so bad for you? And this is a great question because there's so much information out there, and much of it isn't necessarily based in fact or science. So artificial sugar, artificial sweeteners, are ingredients that are added to many foods to enhance the taste and palatability and eliminate the energy that we might get from regular sugar. So if a person is eating foods that contain artificial sweeteners often and in amounts that exceed their hunger throughout the day, it can change their total daily food intake or nutritional intake, which might potentially impact their growth patterns, which is likely why these foods get a bad rap. However, these ingredients alone don't necessarily make a food bad, as long as they're consumed in balance with other types of foods. And our last question relates to water intake. So how much water should a teen be drinking on a daily basis? Our fluid or water needs change depending on our age, our body size, our activity level, so there isn't a one-size-fits-all number. The best way to know if you're drinking enough water is to really, this might sound kind of weird, but watch what your urine or pee is doing throughout the day. If we are well hydrated, our urine's gonna look like clear or a light yellow. And that's a good sign that you're drinking enough fluid. If your urine's dark yellow or has a really strong smell, then that's a sign that your body might need more water. Thank you for all of these wonderful questions, and I hope I provided some helpful information today.